Former President John Mahama, accusing him of peddling falsehoods and plotting to get rid of the free senior high school policy. We have the latest. Also tonight, President Akufo-Addo commits to a free, fair and transparent elections while charging Ghanaians to uphold all those three elements.
We'll be conducting the 8th general election of our history in the 4th Republic. We have to ensure that it is peaceful and orderly so that our people can make their choice in freedom and peace.
We have more for you as the president touts some of his achievements in 2019, plus ongoing plans to prosecute persons whose negligence led to the collapse of some banks.
Investigations into potential criminal conduct are proceeding. As it appears, there's been a massive diversion of assets of these financial institutions. I assure you that the outcome of these inquiries will be made known very soon.
And in business, Chief Executive of Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems calls for regular review of costs for online mobile transactions.
And later on here on Newsnight. And that's how it went down on the Joy SMS earlier today, with Luigi McLean and Joy FM staff treating listeners to some beautiful Christmas carols and Bible reading at the Joy FM Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols. You can share your own favorite carols with us here on Newsnight on the eve of Christmas. And Newsnight is always brought to you by Puma Card from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience. And don't forget, you can always join us via WhatsApp 0244-340-437. The education wars, a running battle between government and former President John Mahama over who has the best policy to fix the challenges confronting education in Ghana. Today, the Education Ministry has been responding to the former president after he criticized the government's education policy and laid out his own proposals. There have been strong exchanges on both sides on the issue. One of the most divisive issues had been the former president's claim that he will scrap the policy requiring teachers to sit a licensing examination.
Yes, I'll cancel it. Simple, straightforward. I believe that if we improve the examination, the final exam that they take, and we improve the quality of teaching and learning in the colleges of education, you don't need for them to pass their exams, come out and go back and write a licensing exam. And so when we come into office, we'll take out the licensing exam, we'll improve the quality of teaching and learning in the colleges of education, so that when they pass their exam for the colleges, you know that this is a person who is a professional teacher and can handle the children that they'll be given.
Well, Deputy Education Minister Yao Educhum at a news conference today produced evidence to show that it was the John Mahama government that actually initiated the policy to compel teachers to sit the licensing examinations before they are allowed into the classrooms.
President Mahama, to his credit, in his 2016 budget, had talked about the fact that he was going to pilot teacher licensing, and in fact, he listed some of the areas like Upper Menya Krobo, Kasina, Nankana East, are some of the areas where he was going to pilot teacher license. I give him credit for taking initiative that we also continued when we came to office. And for some reason, probably he has forgotten. That's why I'm sending this reminder that Mr. President, John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, you saw the need to start the NTC teacher licensing. And when we came, we felt strongly that something as good as teacher license that you have initiated, we needed to continue. So if you're talking about counseling, I don't know what's going on. And that is why I always say that when you are running for president, based on the experience I've seen in other places around the world, you put together a very good team that will advise you on education policy, so that what you say is something that can inure to the benefit of the good people of Ghana when you become president. We have newspaper daily graphic headlines, which was actually 21st of September 2016, and you can see from here by the then Director General of Ghana Education Service talking about teacher licensing in 2016-2017 academic year. So the plan that they had begun is what we continue, and we continue because we believe it's a good thing.
So we did our own fact-checking. Parker, what did we find?
Right, so Evans, with our checks, we discovered that indeed in 2016, the Ghana Education Service, under the John Dramani Mahama administration, had initiated the plan to start teacher licensing for the 2016-2017 academic year. In fact, in 2015, the Education Ministry then sent the Education Bill to Parliament, which proposed the creation of the National Teaching Authority, a body responsible for matters related to licensing and registration of teachers. According to the memo accompanying the bill, the object of the Teaching Authority in Clause 29 is to uphold the standards of the teaching profession by the provision of a quality assurance process to support the delivery of education in school in a professional and competent manner by licensed teachers. Now, it goes on to say that certified teachers are to be registered and issued with the Teaching Authority's license to teach. So this is how we discovered, Evans.
Okay, you can make up your own minds about this. Thank you, Parker. Now, President John Mahama also stated that he will scrap the double-track system associated with the free senior high school policy.
A review is to improve. Even the president, with the current implementation of free SHS, at a point in time, you need to review a policy and see if you are meeting the targets or not. And I believe that he can see that he's not meeting its targets. I mean, the congestion in the schools. I mean, recently a school went on demonstration because they say they can't take the congestion anymore. Reduction in contact.
Where was this?
Well, you are in the media. I'm sure if you Google, you'll find there's a school that demonstrated because they said they were over congested and they couldn't take it anymore. And the first thing we'll do is to abolish the double track. We will fast track the completion of those schools, and we will spread out the children to some of the schools that are completed. There are a lot of projects that we started under the Secondary Educational Improvement Program. It's a World Bank project, and we're building additional dormitories and others. Those projects have all slowed, and so we'll fast track all those projects so that we can create more space in the schools for the children.
Well, the Deputy Education Minister, Yao Duchum, claims the former president's position to scrap the double-track system amounts to scrapping the free SHS policy.
Double track, when people complain about it, President Mahama has talked about, I'll get rid of double track. Get rid of double track and therefore get rid of free senior high school. Double track is the engine for free senior high school. Yes, there are challenges, but you fix it and you move on. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said it will be gone 5 to 7 years. We have 804 buildings under construction. Take a look at any senior high school implementing double track, and there's a building there under construction or a building that has been completed, so that eventually we can put everybody on a single track. But what a double track has done for this nation is the fact that it is helping us to leapfrog the challenge with access, which means instead of getting 150,000 students to stay at home every day for lack of facility, we are putting them in school. So imagine, as the previous minister under President Mahama said, that it was going to take 20 years for them to fully implement free senior high school. 150,000 times 20 tells you that 3 million students who have been home had it not been for, in 20 years, had it not been for the leadership and the vision of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
He also dismissed claims that the government has abandoned school blocks started by the John Mahama administration.
The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has not abandoned projects left behind by the SYNDC government. President Mahama, for your information, we haven't abandoned projects that you started. If we have, we wouldn't have completed 33 E-blocks that you left behind. When we came into government, you had started an E-block program, and I'll tell you this, I'm on record commending President Mahama for building schools. I'll come and sit here and play politics with education policy. If you've done something good, I should be able to say, yeah, you did something good. Look at E-block at Domeko Abenya. excellent location. Frafraha, excellent location. Agrek and Zima in Kumasi, excellent location. And each one of those locations, at each one of them, if you go there now, you're going to see buildings either completed to add to the E block so that we can enroll more students, or you're going to see some buildings that are going to be constructed. Go to Domiko Abinya now. We put up a 2-story classroom block. Thanks to Dr. KK Sapon of GMPC, they've also done a 6 classroom block so that we can admit more students. The school was filled up in 2 years. Before it got to the 3rd year, the school was filled up because it was a great location. I will commend President Mahama. But when we do add to what you have done, and we still go ahead to tell the good people of Ghana that my projects have been abandoned, then I can't see far. I can't think far, as Ghanaians will normally call it. I really can't think far. President Mahama, just take a walk or drive to Domiko Abinya, and you see that the work you've done, we've continued. Go to Frafraha, GMPC has added another building. Go to Agrek in Zima and Kumasi, we are adding.
The Deputy Education Minister in charge of Technical Education, Giftichum Ampafo, also had some strong words for the former president on his proposed policy on TVET.
Government has already made TVET a priority. As you
We're trying to rectify that. Apologies for that hitch there on our system. I want to go onto the phone lines now and speak to Peter Nochu Koto. He's a ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. Mr. Nochu Koto, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Let's start with this controversy surrounding the licensing for teachers. The former president says he will scrap it. However, there's enough evidence to show that it was his government that, in fact, started this particular initiative.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I come to that, let me just correct an impression created by the Deputy Minister, Honorable Educhim, that the former Minister for Education said that the free senior high school would take 20 years to implement in Ghana. That is not true. She never said that anywhere. And it was under her that we started the free, progressively free secondary education. So at no time did she ever make that statement. Yeah, when we talk about the licensure examination or licensing of teachers, if you look at the Education Act of 2008, it is there that teacher licensing should take place. Yes, it is true that steps were being taken to license the teachers, but not in the form that it is being done now. It was the progress or the program was to make sure that it formed part of the training of teachers, so that by the time they completed school and as part of their training, that they would have been given the license to go and start teaching. There was no written examination that was going to take place. As part of their training, they would have gone through the process and then awarded a licensure certificate or whatever it is to enable them operate as trained or professional teachers. So that was the motive.
But if you look at you recall you must have been in Parliament in 2015 when the education bill came to the House.
No education bill came in 2015.
And that specifies the amendments that specify the setting up of the authority that will regulate the licensing and also certify teachers.
No, National Teaching Council was part of the 2008 Education Act. So they were to take charge of the training and then licensing of teachers. And that was what happened. It was part before we came to, I came to the Parliament in 2000.
But that's a point that's a point that the current Education Ministry is making, that the policy that requires teachers to be licensed and sit and get a license is a policy that they came to meet. And in fact, you will find in a graphic article which the minister today produced that in 2016, the GES director then had indicated that they were going to start the licenses for the 2016-2017 academic year.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, Evans, is that the licensing was to take place, but not in the form in which it is being licensed or done now. Ours was to do that those who complete 16-17 academic year as part of their training process will go through a program, and then that will give them the license. So as you are leaving the college, you are taken through the process, and then you are licensed. You become a professional teacher. That was what was in the program as far as I know. No examinations were to be written as it is being done now, and then they say teachers are failing, they are not qualified to teach and all those things.
Let me get clarity. So for your proposal then, it was that when teachers were writing their final exams, that was part of it already. They were not required to write a separate exams after they had graduated.
Yeah, they were not expected to write any examination after graduation.
Question.
So
what then happened to teachers already in the classrooms who had not gone through that process?
No, as part of the program that we were to carry out, the teachers there already in the service, we were going to look at the number of years, those who had even few years, maybe 3, 4, 5 years to retire will not be licensed. But those who had more than 5 years to live, to teach, will be taken through orientation courses. You know, in those days, before you got promotion, you will attend what we call a promotion course. So you attend that promotion course. It was something like a refresher course. And after that, you were promoted. So as part of that, teachers were to go through that refresher or those refresher courses, and then they will be given the license, and they become licensed as teachers. That was the program which we were to pursue.
So you're saying, no, just to clarity again, you're saying for teachers who were already in the system, a chunk of them will not write the licensure exams, but they will go to training.
Let me make it clear that there was going to be no examination for the teachers in the service. They will undergo what we call orientation or refresher courses during holidays.
Yeah, but that would that
and I'm saying that
the law
in those days, before you became promoted, you will attend what we call promotion and orientation or training. So maybe 2-3 weeks, they will take you through a number of professional training and ethics and methodology. So they were to go through that just as a refresher course. Then at the end of it, they will be awarded the licenses and then to become professional teachers. Already they are professional teachers, only being licensed to continue with their work. That is what was to be done. Yeah.
So tell me, what is so wrong now about requiring teachers to write a licensing examination that John Mahama, and of course, I guess you also ascribe to that view, wants to scrap it?
Yes, the original plan was not to write any examination. So as part of your training as you are leaving school, once you pass your qualifying examination, either organized by the University of Cape Coast or whichever university your school was affiliated to, you will be awarded the license to operate as a teacher. You see, that is the difference. And students will now leave school. Then you ask them to come back and then write examination. That you have to write this paper, that paper before you pass. And when they fail, then they are humiliated. That you have failed, you are not qualified to teach. You see, and I think this week or last week there was information that all those who wrote the examination, 25% of them failed. They were not qualified to teach. You see, that is not how the program was to be handled, and that's why President Mahama was saying that if we come, we will cancel the examination, and then the license will be issued as and when you are leaving college. Then you go and teach as a professional teacher. Yeah.
Now, the question about the double track that the former president says he would also scrap with the free, but he will scrap the double track, but maintain and improve the free SHS policy. But we know the free SHS policy has come with increased enrollment. If he scraps the double track, how is he going to have room for the increased numbers that we know exist now on the back of the free SHS?
If there is anything that is wrong with the implementation of the free SHS program, the first thing is the double track. This is because the students are not getting the maximum time that they need to spend in school. How will students go in November by first week in November or last week in November?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard his argument about why he needs to scrap, and I'm asking, if he scraps it, how is he going to deal with the increased numbers that has become associated with the free SHS policy?
You know, in 2015, when President Mahama was about to introduce the progressively free senior high school, what he did was to make sure that there was a massive construction of school infrastructure. That's why he started with the E-block. And at the time he was leaving, about 123 either completed or at various stages of completion, just to make sure that each year the number that will come because of the free nature of the secondary school, they will be able to accommodate them. And I can tell you that if this government, before the introduction of the free SHS, had listened to the wisdom of people or Ghanaians that complete Mahama project so that there will be enough space to accommodate students, this double track matter wouldn't have arisen.
Mr. Nochukoto, my question, you've just gone into history again. My question is looking forward. The problem that you've enumerated about government's alleged failure to complete, etc., the e-blocks, it's in the past. I'm asking you, if you scrap your reality you meet, if you win power, is a free SHS policy that has increased enrollment, and government then to deal with that had introduced double track. My question is, if you scrap double track, you are met with the reality of huge numbers that you have to deal with. How do you address that without double track?
Yeah, if you listen to President Mahama very well when he was making the statement, there will be massive construction of school infrastructure as soon as he assumes a duty or office, and provision will be made so much that we will address the situation as a matter of urgency.
But Mr. Nochukoto, it takes several months to complete school. Your government knew that better than most. Yeah, you wanted to complete schools. It took you 4 years to finish as a handful.
You can finish in 6 months, 9 months, and then make sure that they are ready for occupancy.
Yeah, so but in the interim, in the immediate term, when you come, in the short term when you come, when you don't have the classroom, you're not going to build. What do you do to the numbers when you scrap the double track?
We are saying that given the opportunity, within the shortest possible time, the double track must go. Because this government says that it will take 7 years for the double track to be eliminated. And if I listen to the minister very well, they don't even have any intention of eliminating it as early as possible. So given the opportunity, I can assure you that we will be able to eliminate it within the shortest possible time.
Shortest possible time, and there's factual history to reference. When you were in power, you had 4 years. You wanted to build 200 schools. By the time you were finishing, you had built completed fully, less than 50. I mean, in 4 years. So when you say shortest possible time,
yeah,
what exactly is that?
Yeah, I can also tell you that apart from the e-blocks that were initiated, these were new schools from scratch. They were not existing schools. And there were several projects going on in other secondary schools in this country or senior high schools in the country just to augment the infrastructure to accommodate more students. So if we continue with the e-block and other projects that are necessary, that are ongoing, we will be able to make sure that we have the infrastructure that can help us eliminate the double tracks. And I don't want to put time limits. When we come into office, once we have promised Ghanaians that we will eliminate it as quickly as possible, we will take the task or we will face the task and make sure that we do our best to eliminate it for Ghanaians to know that we can do something about it.
Okay, hold the line for me. I've just been joined by Mr. Duchum, who is the a Deputy Education Minister at the Education Ministry. Mr. Duchum, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I want to return quickly to this subject surrounding the licensing of teachers. Mr. Koto, who is a ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament, had explained that their policy proposal then was that the license will be part of the education of teachers and that they will not be required to write a separate examination to be licensed after they completed school. That's not how they dreamt it. And that your proposal is entirely different, and that's why they will scrap it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I want to say a very Merry Christmas to your listeners, and yourself included. I've heard part of this interview, and what is going on in this country is when people want to say anything to get elected. We gave 5 to 7 years as time to eliminate double track, and he's saying that he cannot give time. He cannot give time, but you scrap it. You scrap double track. There's no free senior high school in the interim. And the questions that you're asking him was just on point. In the short term, no double track, no free senior high school. Unless you want to cater only to the elites and majority of the students who may not get a very high score, you will just say that, hey, I'm bringing back the cutoff again. So maybe that's a code word for telling Ghanaians that, we're going to bring back the cutoff. And children who are less privileged, who are less likely to score high on the BCE cannot go to high school, just like it used to be before free senior high school came into focus. So the bottom line is this. When we came into government, Act 778 had been there. NDC had proposed in the 2016-17 year pilot teacher licensing program. And Upper Menya Krobo happened to be one of the districts. Front page of Ghanaian Times, the then Director General explains how they are going to do teacher licensing. If they have a change of heart that they think licensing is a bad thing, they should come and explain to Ghanaians. Teachers who have come to me and have told me, I now feel I'm a professional. I'm holding my license just like anybody else in other professions. There's nothing bad about teacher licensing. You cannot talk about, I want to create the best education system in the world, but I will never do what other people do in other jurisdictions so that they can have a quality human resource that would empower the schools. Teacher licensing is to give us uniformity across different universities that are preparing teachers. As I speak with you, Valley View University, a private university, prepares teachers. Wilbur prepares teachers. We have a number of colleges of education preparing teachers. And at the end of the day, the uniformity that comes, that ensures that the graduate from Jackson University, which happens to be private, the graduate from Cambridge University, that happens to be private, at the same level as the graduates from University of Cape Coast. And uniformity comes when you have a different set of arrangement through the licensing and everybody goes through the process. And it gives us the opportunity to really, as employers from the perspective of Ghana Education Service, to be able to say, yeah, you went to Jackson, as equally good as somebody who went to Cape Coast. This is the kind of uniformity that licensing brings, making teachers know that they are qualified just like anybody else, whether they went to Jackson or they went to other universities for that matter. So the bottom line is this. There's nothing wrong with licensing. But we know what goes on in African politics. People want to say anything to get elected, and that is what we are hearing. We are getting to 2020. You're going to hear a lot. And hear a lot from people who just want to say anything to get elected.
I'm grateful, gentlemen, for your time here on Newsnight. That is the Deputy Education Minister, Mr. Yaduchu. Earlier, you had Peter Nochu Kotoe, who is the ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. Still ahead here on Newsnight, President Akufo-Addo commits to a free, fair, transparent elections next year.
General election of our history in the Fourth Republic. We have to ensure that it is peaceful and orderly so that our people can make their choice in freedom and peace.
And then later,
Enim nyam kene
We will serenade you as we will hear later on from Luigi McLean and the Joy FM staff treating listeners to some beautiful Christmas carols and Bible reading at the Joy FM Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols. Charles is here with the very latest from the world of business. Charles, were you part of this morning?
I wasn't, but I was listening very
You have a
keenly,
nice
and
voice when you read. Do you have an equally nice singing voice as well?
I do have a nice
Okay,
singing voice.
I want you to blast me a few lines from a carol when you're done with the business.
Exactly.
I'm going to
do that. I'm going to
Fantastic.
do that.
Okay. That's a long time to think about which song you're going to sing. What do you have in the headlines?
All right. So coming up in business, Chief Executive of Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GIPS, calls for regular review of costs for online money transactions. And Ministry of Food and Agriculture imports machinery to support local processing of rice. We'll hear from the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Ifeakoto. Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to a new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essential. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Your message is simple. If you say MTN Mumu, it give you life very simple. This trip for there, you're getting 200%. Top up your airtime with your MTN Mumu wallet. A one breakthrough the pie. Enjoy 200% bonus on any amount you recharge with your MTN Mumu. Mitra, 3 times your recharge money. You can't believe it, me boy. Dial star 170 hash to top up your credit and feel the 200% essentially. For about the bra, na calculation the reality no. 72 Ghana cedis we are here 200%. 75 Ghana we are here 200%. 20 Ghana we are here 200%. 200% bonus no. You feel our Ghana's best network. Dial star 170 hash. Now go option 7. Now back home. Now you claim your 200% bonus no. Just Momo it. We there for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
As 2019 comes to a close and the festivities set in, we would like to thank you for partnering with us this year. In the world of First National Bank Ghana, your business is our business. And we trust that this last year has seen opportunities unlocked, innovation enabled, and growth gained. May 2020 hold even more for you. We look forward to sharing it with you. And so, a mindful, meaningful, and happy holiday to you. Best wishes, First National Bank, Ghana.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302 764 101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Start making the simple things simpler. Start using your MasterCard instead of cash. Start buying groceries, shopping online, or at your favorite store, all using your MasterCard. Start enjoying the freedom of a MasterCard in your pocket, knowing the simple things are taken care of with easy, safe, and secure transactions. Ask your bank for your MasterCard. Better than cash.
It's the year of the return, and your calendars are marked. It's time for the Joy FM Keteke Fever. Great disco mixes from the finest DJs to display your 70s and 80s dance moves. The date is Friday, 27th December, and the time is 9 p.m. till late. The venue is the foyer of the Accra International Conference Center. There will be welcome drinks, something to munch on, and of course, the traditional late-night hot pepper soup. The rate is a cool 150 Ghana cedis, so all you have to do is get in character. Get your bell-bottoms, platform shoes, and Afro wigs in style for a night of great fun. For ticket reservations and inquiries, call 0540-106-466. That's 0540-106-466. The Joy FM Caretaker Fever is supported by Vital Mineral Water, pure, rich, and natural. Auto Plaza Limited, distributors of Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. And brought to you by your superstation Joy 99.7. This is a party for the 50-year-olds and above. The Joy FM Caretaker Fever is here. Come on down and let's boogie.
And you're welcome to Business with me, Charles Aite. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, Archie Hesse, has proposed a periodical review of transactional costs for online money payments. Despite government's digitization agenda and the introduction of various financial technologies to ensure a cash-light economy, issues regarding the high cost of transaction has been of concern to many. Archie Hesse states the move to reduce costs will, in the long run, help improve the volumes of mobile money transactions. Now, according to him, if only banks will comply with the regulator's new directives, it should lead to them posting more positive returns. To other stories now, the Deputy Managing Director of Societe Generale Ghana, Ernest Kweche, says the banking sector is beginning to experience a rebound following the recent cleanup of the sector. He spoke to Joy Business at the 4th mini draw of the Deposit and Win promotion, which saw customers win various awards, including television sets and gift vouchers.
Compared to what we normally get in the normal trend, we see some significant addition of the deposit, and this was the purpose of this campaign, because obviously we are able to get more customers to be interested by the rewards that they may be able to gain from these deposit campaigns. I think banking sectors is very critical for the economy of the country. It's very critical for all Ghanaians, with you and I, to make sure that our money is safe. It's important to make sure that the banking sector is there to support the growth of the economy, and we believe that all the measures which have been put in place in terms of additional capital, in terms of governance, in terms of all other measures to make sure that we have a more good visibility in all the flows going through the systems is important. Going through as a banking sector is important actually to secure the environment and secure the various actors who are involved.
Deputy Managing Director of Societe Generale Ghana, Ernest Kweche. As government works to deal with the rice glut, the Minister for Food and Agriculture has disclosed that they were in the process of importing equipment from Brazil to support production and processing of rice in the rural communities. This comes in the wake of complaints by retailers of limited supply of local rice on the market after a strong campaign for Ghanaians to patronize locally produced rice. Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriakoto, spoke to Joy Business on this matter.
Local rice is cheaper, it's healthier because it's just been harvested, and I think that the responses that we are getting from the public so far has been excellent, and we will continue to educate Ghanaian consumer to eat local rice because it is good, it's healthy. The only thing is that the aggregate processing capacity for milling our rice is so small that they have to use all sorts of traditional methods. We are bringing in loads and loads of processing machinery for village level milling. Excellent. I mean, I've just been to Brazil 2 months ago. We're going to order thousands of them, distribute them in the area so that when the paddy is harvested, the machines will there for the farmers themselves to add value by milling before they sell it on.
That's the Minister for Agric there, ending business on Newsnight.
Well, Charles, which song are you doing for us?
You know, I'm caught between...
You were praying that I forgot.
I'm caught between, this song that has made it to the billboards.
What's that?
Mariah Carey's.
Oh, Mariah Carey's song.
Oh.
And I didn't know that you're an ardent follower of music.
Oh, I'm an ardent follower.
For you to know
and this one, this Oh Holy Nights thing. You know, since today is Christmas Eve and we're all going to church and everything. So which one do you prefer? Hey, Holy Nights, because I'm
most comfortable singing. I don't want I don't want you to resurrect the dead yet.
Okay, let's sing the Oh Holy Nights together. Okay, just for 30 seconds.
Let's go.
All right, so Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Okay. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and that's
Oh
all.
goodness, no, but that is fun. Were you in the choir?
I was.
Oh, you were. You should have told me. I wouldn't have allowed you to sing. This is awesome. No, Charlie, that's good. Thank you very much, Charles, for serenading us this evening. And that's Charles there with Business News. Now, President Akufo-Addo is expecting a transparent, free, and fair election in 2020. For him, the Ghanaian electorate must have the opportunity to choose whoever they want as president and member of parliament in an atmosphere of peace. It's a 9-lesson and carol program at the Jubilee House. President Akufo-Addo also called on the country to be guided by Christian values, faith, and reconciliation this festive season.
For the first time in our country's history, all three arms of government, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive, have each held a festival of 9 lessons and carols, and I've been honored to read it on each occasion. It is strong testimony of the determination of each arm to be guided in their work by the Christian values of faith, love, charity, and reconciliation. This commitment is particularly important, especially as we enter a new year in which the nation is going to conduct a general election, so that our people can choose the person and persons they want to manage the affairs of the nation on their behalf. We have a responsibility to ensure that we put our best foot forward, beginning with the people in this House. We'll be conducting the 8th general election of our history in the 4th Republic. We have to ensure that it is peaceful and orderly, so that our people can make their choice in freedom and peace. I am very optimistic that that will be the case, and that the reputation of our nation as a beacon of democracy will be further strengthened. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year. And if 4 more years from now materializes, we shall meet here again next year.
So that's the president there wishing peace next year and an election year. But we've often found that there's a gulf between the rhetoric and the reality when it comes to election years. And that's what I want to bring in right now, the Executive Secretary of the Peace Council, George Amu. Hello, Mr. Amu. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight. Hello, Mr. Amu.
Hello, Evans.
Thank you very much for your time on Newsnight.
Good evening and thank you.
Also joining me is governance expert Kojo Ado. Hello, Mr. Ado.
Good evening, Ivan.
Hi, Mr. Amo, let me start with you. I mean, we've heard the president's wish for next year: free, fair, transparent elections, devoid of violence, acrimony. But we've often known that election years, that the wish that we hear often expressed by politicians and civil society groups, doesn't often materialize in reality. Can it be different next year?
Thank you once again. I think that we have to be hopeful and optimistic. Ghanaians have proven over the years that we are able to surmount, electoral issues, especially in this 4th Republic. And I am hopeful that the next elections will not be that different. But there are some early warning signs that we should all be watching out for, and also do our maximum, put in our best bet so that we don't slip along the path. I think that we are very, we've put in all the efforts. The Peace Council is doing their part, and NCC is doing their part. The Electoral Commission is doing their part. But there are some red flags I think we cannot gloss our eyes over, especially regarding the controversy over the electoral register. I think we have to resolve this matter as early as possible. I think there are other issues that are coming up, fake news here and there. I think we should be prepared to strategize as to how we are going to deal with these emerging issues so that Ghana will not slip.
Mr. Addo, specifically, what should the measures be so that we move from rhetoric to reality?
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to our listeners, Evans. For me, I feel that we're supposed to look at the key stakeholders and then the various roles, activities that they play, wrapping up to the various general elections that happen in Ghana. Looking at the political parties, which are very, very key, the Electoral Commission, whether administrative role or whether collaborative roles that they have with the government agencies, and how well are they able to simmer down tempers in these various flashpoints in Ghana. Evans, I ask the electoral or the political parties, how well are they able to educate or sensitize their people, most especially the polling station officers, for them to be able to know the legal frameworks that govern elections in Ghana? And even at the polling stations, because it is said that elections are won at the polling stations, how well do they understand the various processes that if I am an electorate, when I go there, the various steps that I'm supposed to go through before I leave the polling station, do these polling station officers really understand it? Do they know how the tallying process is done at the polling station? Do they know the transfer process through which the data is transferred to the district level, to the regional level, and also to the national level? Now, when they are able to understand all these processes very well, then it means that they are going to be key partners in ensuring that the election, which is won, as we say, at the polling station, is free and fair and devoid of any violence that comes up with it. And again, the Electoral Commission, I am not of the opinion that is very wise, but I mean, debates are ongoing for us to have a new register at this point in time when we know very well that in one or more or less this is a brick or die situation. I mean, where one party wanting to come back again after just 4 years, another party looking forward to retain power. Over a period of time, I feel that we could have held on to the new register for now and probably done more of administrative work that will be able to strengthen the electoral process rather than the register that is supposed to come into being. But the media also has a very key role to play. And when I say the media, whatever information that is given out, it is the media's responsibility to broadcast it out. And how well are they able to broadcast it out, devoid of any political undertones, devoid of any agenda setting that will probably set people's tempers very high. And that comes back to the media ownership in Ghana here. Most political party bigwigs own most of the media houses, so they want you to tailor the content in your media houses to their benefit. So these are some of the very few things at the initial stages that I will speak on. But then again, when it has to do with the electorate, I feel that for things to calm down, the politicians need to give us a posture of more of serenity, a posture of assurance, a posture of the fact that this is a united Ghana that we are all seeking to govern. So when it trickles down, then we can input in some behavioral change communication strategies, because there are people who seek to foment sort of one way or the other violence. I was part of a team that went around last election, and what we did was that we put together some videos for some of the war-torn countries, and we showed it to some of the people, and we went to Asawasi, we went to Kumasi, Kofu,
and did that work?
It really worked, Evans. It really worked, and people didn't know that the Liberia wars, people didn't know Sierra Leone, people didn't know other African countries. Some of the things happened over there. Yeah. They only saw refugees in Ghana here, but this, we took the videos, we took the pictures, we took the posters, people who were giving testimonies, people who were victims of war, political war, and we showed it to them, we interpreted it to them in their various local languages.
Well, I mean, if it worked, I guess it's worth repeating them for 2020. I'm grateful that you joined me, Kojo Addo, with those thoughts. Also, earlier, I had the Peace Council's Executive Secretary, Mr. George Amo, sharing thoughts on how to realize the president's wish of a peaceful election next year. Let's do sports now, and Benedict is here with the latest. Hello, Benedict.
Yes, Evans, we're building up to the start of the new Ghana
And
Premier
we're also
League
building
season.
up to you giving me a line of a Christmas carol after you finish your
really?
headlines. So let's go.
Okay, all right, we'll see how that will go. Now, Wild Stars have unveiled their new coach, Goran Bajatovic, ahead of the start of the new season. Now, the Bosnian-German tactician...
Say that again.
Oh, Charlie.
Oh, I'm serious. I just want to make sure that next
So the
time it
name
comes
is-
up
yeah,
in the news, I'm
the
able
name
to...
is Bajatovic. Bajatovic.
The first name is what?
Goran.
Goran.
Goran. You know, Goran is so simple.
Goran
Bajatovic.
Okay.
Bajatovic.
Okay.
But it's spelled Barjakatare.
How long have you been practicing this?
I see.
How long have you been practicing this?
Well, I listened to him this afternoon.
He mentioned his own name?
Yeah, he mentioned his own
great.
name.
Well, we're going to get used to it.
Bajatovic. So, Goran Bajatovic. And, of course, he's been speaking ahead of the start of the new season. And he's been talking about what he wants to do for Wild Stars in this season's league.
My target cannot be my target because, you know, it's not my club. And I would like to win all games, of course. But I work for these people here. And I'll do this what they expect from me. It means we will try to develop this club to bring it on one very nice international level, very respectable international level. And how long will it take? I cannot promise you.
That's the new Wild Stars coach speaking there. Well, the Wild Stars they've had the Medina Zongo Park, rejected as their home venue by the club licensing board, as well as Ibuson Doves, the Evans Mensah Stadium in Cape Coast. Now, the mandatory basis for the rejection have been discussed with them, and the deadline for these two clubs to propose alternative venues has also been discussed with them by the licensing board. And also the competition department shall select an approved venue for the clubs to honor their home matches should they fail to meet the deadline. Well, the other teams, or the teams that have had their venues approved, Aduana Stars, so they will play at the Nana Ajman Bidu Park in Doma. Shantigo will play at their venue, that's Obuasi Clay Stadium, and Santiago Kotoko Babara Stadium. Kim Faisal will play at the Babara Stadium. And conditional approval, so what it means is that the likes of Accra Heart to Folk, Accra Great Olympics, Interlies, that they all want to use the Accra Sports Stadium. There are some mandatory conditions they have to, meet. And those deadlines for remediation have been discussed with the club representatives. The other clubs are Interlies. Okay, they also want to use the Accra Stadium, Brekum Chelsea, Golden City Park in Brekum, and then Techiman 11 Wonders, Techiman Park, Dreams FC, Dewu, where they call Theatre of Dreams, not Manchester United, Old Trafford, but Dewu Theatre of Dreams, and Wafa, the Sugakope Park, and Elmina Sharks in Doom Park, as well as Media Mercy Akon, and Karela FC also Akon Park, and Liberty Professionals, that's the Dansoman Karindorf Park, Bichim United also the Bichim Park. The fallout of the Chelsea Tottenham Hotspur game, one was the Son's red card, which they failed in getting it revoked. So what it means is that he will not be available for Tottenham Hotspur in their next game. That will be on Boxing Day. But Chelsea manager Frank Lampard has been speaking, and he has actually defended Antonio Rudiger after he was criticized for his part in Son's red card on Sunday. And Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp also has confirmed that Oxlade-Chamberlain will miss at least the Premier League leaders their next two games with an ankle ligament damage. That's sad news for Liverpool fans.
Benedict, thank you very much, and the ancestors.
And thank you too.
Benedict, the ancestors have intervened on your behalf. Because they say that they don't want to resurrect prematurely. In fact, they don't want to resurrect at all.
I was actually going
at the sound of your horrible voice, and so I'm going to let you off until tomorrow. Thank you, Benedict. Well, let's stay with the theme of Christmas, and as we've been talking about, the president has been delivering his Christmas message. One of the things he talked about is the banking crisis and the people who need to be prosecuted.
It is worthy to note, however, that the jobs of some 6,500 workers were saved as a result, instead of the 10,000 that could have been lost, in addition to the protection of funds of 4.6 million depositors. Thus far, the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana have worked together to guarantee payment of 100% of deposits of customers of the failed banks, which is being done. I've directed the Ministry of Finance to work with the Bank of Ghana to ensure the same applies to customers of microfinance and savings and loans companies whose licenses have been revoked. Investigations into potential criminal conduct are proceeding. As it appears, there's been a massive diversion of assets of these financial institutions. I assure you that the outcome of these inquiries will be made known very soon, as well as the actions that will be taken to bring those responsible to book. Work is ongoing in all parts of the country to fix the road network. And with 2020 being the year of roads, we should see major improvements during the year.
So that's the president talking yesterday at this 9 Lessons and Carols. I want to bring in banking expert Dr. Dan Sedo, joins us on the telephone line right now. Dr. Sedo, thank you for your time, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
We had just had the president say that, massive diversion, but also talking still about measures being taken soon to deal with those who involved. Has it taken far too long for this to come to some fruition?
Yes and no. No, first, in the sense that there's a need for work to be done, issues to be validated before they move in. So probably it's taken this time. Yes, because there seemed to be a regulatory failure. These things should have been detected, or is believed were detected earlier, but we did not act promptly. So it's yes and no.
So going forward, going into 2020, what do you expect to happen on these matters? Should you expect to get closure on them next year?
Certainly so. The president talked about guaranteeing payment. That is very good news. I'm expecting that the money will be paid to depositors very quickly. That in itself will bring some stability into the financial services sector. I do not believe everything is stable at this point. So we need that payment to be effected very quickly, early 2020. Then also the court processes and the recovery of those assets that have been diverted. It's critical we do that and to bring confidence back into the financial services sector.
Well, I'm grateful, Dr. Sedo, for your time here on Newsnight as we look ahead to the 2020 year and what will happen on the banking front. Well, as you may well know, Christmas is just a few hours away, and there can be Christmas without the Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols. If you've not been to any of these festivals of 9 Lessons and Carols yet, well, unfortunately, but I've been to one and it was exciting. On the Joy SMS today, we had artists like Louis McLean treating us to some beautiful tunes, or let me say carols. But 2019 is coming to an end in 7 days, and many are looking forward to it, and you can take advice with many people. But if you missed the Bible reading and the choral music, here are excerpts of how it all went down on the SMS.
Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore.
Te, 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 oritum aenyumde, enim nyam kenyamewa, so.
And that's it for this Christmas Eve edition of Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah, and Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy the season.
As a child is born,